My name is Katie De Leon. I'm the head of Human Resources and Consumer Affairs. What I noticed during our payroll is that my compensation and benefits specialist would always wait for all the branches to submit their timekeeping. It takes a lot of effort for him to consolidate everything, and especially it's like a waiting game for us. All the forms are filed manually. I really wanted to streamline the process and at the same time make it more efficient. When I saw Sprout, it's actually more affordable for us, and it really suited the local setting.
Our payroll process more on manual talaga. So we use biometrics sa ating mga branches. Ayun, so medyo hassle kasi every payroll cut-off, you have to download all the attendance of the employees there in the branches. Ayun, I have to request pa sa payroll namin. Once na kulang yung attendance ng employee, they can easily file the form na po talaga like certificate of attendance to certify na pumasok sila nung araw na yun. Unlike before na more on talaga, manual.
This last payroll namin, so nag-start ako ng Sunday, and then Monday, tapos na ako.
Sprout really helped us with the technology during pandemic. It's actually the perfect timing for us to migrate because when it was during the lockdowns, of course, people wouldn't want to do biometrics, right? It helped also in the process of adapting to the situation because everyone was going digital at that time. It was a huge leap or a huge step for us to make, but I think it's worth it.
Welcome to State of HR 2023. My name is Patrick Gentry. I'm the CEO of Sprout. I grew up in Southern Oregon on a farm, but I made my way to the Philippines in 2008. And a few things struck me right away coming here. First, the resiliency and work ethic of the Filipino people. Seeing that was seeing all the people in our office getting up, commuting 2 hours, working 9 or 10 hours, and then commuting 2 hours again, and doing that every day. It's very impressive, and that struck me right away.
So I've been doing the State of HR for 4 years now. And interestingly enough, we were able to predict various trends. We were able to predict the Great Resignation even before the Great Resignation happened. And so, the State of HR would provide you with valuable insights regarding this. Now, more than ever, opportunities are everywhere. It's no longer an employer-centric world, but an employee-centric world. So now, employees have more options. And so the opportunities have become more open, not only here in the local scene, but also externally. Externally, more and more people are doing freelance works because they demand flexibility in the workplace already.
We're also adding this year, for the first time, awards to businesses who are having exceptional work practices, whose attrition rates are the lowest in their field, whose employee engagement is the highest in their field. So we're very, very excited to have you guys out today.
positive employee experience, because we always say that employee experience will define whether your employee, your workers will stay with you or will leave you for another company.
Interestingly, 2023, 48% said that support from company management is a key factor to HR success. And what we found out in our white paper is that HR professionals do not feel empowered enough. They do not feel that they have a seat in the table.
You'll agree with me as HR practitioners na kung gusto natin pagandahin ang proseso, we have to dignify inputs from the ground level. You have to listen to inputs from the ground where rubber meets the road, who are the people at the thick of the real service encounters. That way, you dignify their inputs. That way, they feel ownership.
And through the data we've been able to generate, we were able to convince management that hybrid is the way to go for security bankers. And so we're hybrid. I see my one downs twice a month. I don't have to see them every day. We come in for a purpose. It's been working for us, and I think that's the way to go.
In 2015, we started Sprout with the simple goal of automating timekeeping, payroll, and 201 file management. We spent a lot of time talking about it and thinking about it, and ultimately, what came out of that is Sprout's North Star. So Sprout's North Star is to impact the life of every Filipino by improving business in the Philippines. Fast forward to today, Sprout is now the largest HR technology company in the Philippines. From 201 file management and timekeeping and payroll, we're now an ecosystem of tools to enable automation of a myriad of workflow processes inside organizations in the Philippines.
Again, we dare say in Sprout, hybrid is still the future of work. And that's because hybrid is still built on trust and freedom on the employee side. But to sum it all up, I just want to say that the past dictates the present and the present dictates the future. And so with the state of HR, I hope that we'll be able to unleash the workforce passion and potential. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in such great numbers to support, to learn, and thank you very much for our sponsors for making it possible. So thank you everybody for coming. Welcome to Sprout State of HR 2023.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on optimizing retail operations, unlocking business growth and efficiency. In the competitive retail landscape, it is more important than ever to optimize your HR operations to drive growth and efficiency. My name is Romel, and I will be your host for today. In today's dynamic and ever-evolving retail landscape, the role of human resource has become increasingly critical in driving business success. Retailers face a unique set of challenges, from managing a diverse and often transient workforce to navigating the complexities of talent acquisition and retention. And today, our speakers will delve to wealth of benefits that comes with streamlined HR operations. But before we get started, let me talk a little bit about Sprout. Sprout Solutions is the largest homegrown B2B software as a service company in the Philippines and the most trusted end-to-end provider of HR and business solutions. We are here to help Philippine businesses grow through our ecosystem of HR, business, and AI-powered solutions that prepare organizations for the future of work. If you guys want to learn more, check out this video.
Are you spending too much time on payroll? Are you unable to spot the root causes of attrition? With the right system, you can hire the right talent. Pay your employees on time, track their performance, and focus on career development. So let go of manual work and embrace digital transformation. Build a stress-free environment and empower your employees to perform at their best. Choose Sprout to improve and automate every stage of the employee lifecycle so you can focus on what matters. Our customer success team will provide a seamless onboarding experience. Sprout's tailor-fit solutions address common HR pain points of Philippine businesses. Let us support you in your journey to digital maturity. With positive reviews and global recognitions, Sprout continues to impact the life of every Filipino by improving businesses in the country. Join over 1,000 organizations that have transformed their businesses and empowered their people. Let Sprout innovate and transform your core business infrastructure, ensure your employees' financial health, and reimagine the concept of total wellness, because that's what great employers do, and great employers use Sprout. Start your journey with Sprout today.
All right. If you enjoy a webinar like this one, please follow us on our social media accounts at Sprout HR Tech and keep an eye out for brand new episodes. Later on, we will have a fireside chat session where you can ask our speakers anything about the topic. And to send in your questions, just click the Q&A button. You'll see the bottom of your screen, and please start thinking as early as now about your questions. And we will answer as many as we can later on. So again, guys, good morning. And I hope you guys are all ready. Let's kick things off with our first session, starting off with our first speaker for today, a seasoned HR leader delivering cutting-edge HR solutions to drive business growth and cultural transformation. He served in local business conglomerates such as Ayala Corporation, JG Summit, San Miguel, ABS-CBN, and Concepcion Industrial. He also assumed HR leadership roles in diverse multinationals such as Accenture, TELUS, Merck, MSD, and AGNP. He is passionate advocate of extraordinary employee experience. Our speaker for today was honored as one of the 101 Global HR Heroes in the Philippines and the most trusted HR leaders in 2019. He made it to the HRD Asia Magazine's publication of HR Hatless in 2021, and he was recognized as one of the top most HR leaders. Our prolific speaker on HR strategy, change management, talent development, HR services, employee engagement, and labor relations. Let's all welcome the Vice President for Human Resources in S&R Membership Shopping, Mr. Eman Salazar.
Hi, good morning. Morning. Quite an introduction, Romel. You know, when I hear that introduction, I realize I have been through a lot of employers my lifetime. No, so I work for local companies, and well, right now I'm with a retail company we call SNR. So we'll get to it. It's a 20-minute opportunity to be with you guys. No, so for now, I'll be representing my company, SNR Membership Shopping. So some of the experiences we have in terms of HR, but you know, I'm not here to sell membership, but we are all, of course, welcome to be part of our service as SNR. Let's go to the next slide, please. All right, so let's start with the questions. There are 3 questions for today, and we will focus on one. What are the business and people challenges that retail companies face? It's a very important question. While other organizations are facing their challenges, we also in retail face the same challenges, but some unique challenges to our industry, like in terms of attrition, payroll, the delivery of HR services. So we'll go into that. The next question is, what are the priorities and focus areas of HR? And of course, all HR organizations will have their priorities. For us, it's about supporting our business objectives. And let me talk about some of those things in this short presentation. And then I'd like to talk about how we are transforming our own organization to enhance efficiency. You will hear me talk about efficiency a lot because it is really the pressure of business. For companies to survive, efficiency is key to delivering value to our customers and to make sure that we have a well-oiled machine as a business. Let's go to the next slide, please. So a little bit of introduction. As I said, SNR is a membership shopping business patterned after some warehouse shopping, membership shopping stores in the US. You probably know of the brands Costco, those PriceSmart in the US. So we are actually PriceSmart in the Philippines until the business transformed into a different organization in 2006. We started with 4 membership clubs in Asiana, Congressional, Alabang, and of course in Taguig. Those are our 4 stores, and now we have grown into 25 stores. We're opening the next one next month. As a membership club, we offer our members, we call them members, some will call it customers for their target market. We call them members. We like to think that we offer the widest selection of products, unique, low price, and quality merchandise for our members. Let's go to the next slide. Now, let me talk about what are our challenges in terms of the business and in terms of our people. So I have a longer list for people because this is an HR talk, right? So, but for the business, it has always been the battle cry of companies, right? When you hear Amazon talk about customer obsession, and it looks like it has driven the entire retail space into really focusing on who is important as our client. And for us, it's really our members, it's our customers. We still face the pandemic and the after effects of the pandemic. We see businesses shifting from traditional brick and mortar stores to digital, to e-commerce. We've seen a lot of those, even in marketplace. We see that in all those concierge services. Concierge meaning they collaborate with companies to deliver their products and services. Foodpanda, Grab, all those companies. Disruption in the supply chain. You know, we're in the Philippines. While our location is strategic, it is also very challenging in terms of moving our products across the archipelago. It's also very difficult for us to contend with the challenges of our port system, our supply system. So the disruption in the supply chain is also a challenge that we're facing as a business. Now, for us to thrive in this environment, we really want to make sure that we are profitable, that we are winning in the marketplace, and of course, we are delivering value to our customers by being of low cost, right? Low cost in terms of our operating expense to deliver value to our members, our customers. Now, this is the exciting part for us, HR, in this webinar. What are the people challenges that we're facing? Let's talk about talent, for example. Talent is really our employees, right? And there is an ongoing war in terms of acquiring talents. For those of you involved in recruitment, you know that it's so hard to hire employees in the retail space, right? Why? Because of the offer of hybrid work, the offer of alternative gimmicks or gigs or alternative careers for our target population. This is really a challenge for us. while we continue to have steady supply of talents in the marketplace, we are still being challenged with what is the aftermath of all these options, of all these choices, with the great resignation, as we call it. It's about the ability to retain and manage the turnover of our employees. We in HR, we help shape the business, we help shape the strategy and the culture of the company. And these things are purposive in order to drive the required performance of our people and our organization, right? Another challenge, of course, for those millennials or feeling millennials like me, and you know that there has never been time in global history that we have 5 generations at work. The Gen Zs are entering the marketplace. The millennials are leading key positions in the organization. We, Gen Xers, okay, I'll admit to that. We are the key decision makers, the leaders of the organization. But of course, we owe it to our baby boomers and even the traditionalists who are still very much part of our organization. So with this different generations of employees, it will require different approaches in terms of delivering HR value to our organization. And let's talk about accelerating training and development. So a lot of modes available in terms of delivering this learning and development courses. And there's a pressure for us to organize ourselves better in terms of delivering this learning courses to our employees. The new HR now, should I say, will demand a lot from HR practitioners. Probably gone are those days that we are very specialized and we focus on one aspect or one facet of HR. Those recruiters will just focus on recruitment. Compensation guys will just focus on compensation. Payroll people will just focus on the per cut-off payroll process for our organization. That's no longer the case because even the HR career is transforming, and that is the pressure point for us, no? To accelerate our digital transformation. For HR, therefore, the challenge is really transform our HR organization. And at the latter part of this presentation, I will share some of the things we're doing in our own organization. Automate tasks. This is a Sprout webinar, and of course, we'll hear Sprout talk about their solutions. But for our organizations, regardless whether you're in Sprout or you're considering another technology platform, this is a mandatory, should I say, in terms of growing your own HR organization. Let's move to the next slide, please. So I'll show you that in retail. So let's talk about retail for a bit. I'll talk about the right side of the slide for now. We are in different business models. While we are all in retail, we are probably operating our business differently from the others. So I just put together some of these comparison companies and how they are different in terms of the kind of retail business they are. We proudly claim to be the leader in membership shopping. As a membership shopping, we invite our customers to be members of our system and be able to enjoy our products and services. Some other forms of retail companies are department stores, of course, the delivery, the Amazons of this world, B2B, neighborhood stores. Our own sari-sari stores are examples of a retail organization. And of course, new entrants, you have your convenience stores. So understanding the business model is important because that is how we are supporting the kind of organization that we are building. Let's move to the next part of this slide, which is to talk about what is really driving our business. For us, we understand that we cannot be best in all of these drivers. So it's about pricing, it's about the service that we deliver, about the completeness of our products in terms of the selection. No retail company, and if I may claim it, no retail company can be best in all of these 3 drivers. We just have to choose one. For SNR, we know that we can be best in terms of the lowest possible price for our products, and we are focusing on that. And that that pressure to deliver on lowest quality product will also require our people to understand how to become a low-cost operator. Low-cost operator. Low-cost operator for us is like a mantra. It's like whenever we do things in the company, it's always supportive of that mindset of being a low-cost operator. Let's move to the next slide, please. All right. Efficiency. I mentioned I'll be talking about efficiency because that is really the fuel of our growth engine. Any low-cost operator will have to lead the industry in terms of our efficiency. Let me just call out some of the things we're doing in terms of our strategy to achieve our operational efficiency. Of course, technology is there in terms of all aspects of our operations, our customer relationship management system, our enterprise resource platform, our automation, our analytics, reporting. Those technologies must be in place. We have to have a perfect IT architecture to support our business. As I mentioned, supply chain is a challenge for us because it's a key competitive advantage for any organization. Our supply chain architecture must be created, must be set up in such a way that it will facilitate that efficiency that we're driving. When we hear of efficiency, it's about doing more with less, right? And for the people agenda, a lot of us are experiencing and will experience the shift, right? In terms of focus of HR from administrative to what they call and what we HR call as strategic HR. And what will enable us to achieve that level of efficiency for our own HR operations? It is, ladies and gentlemen, about capitalizing on technology. And for us, the pressure is to build a fully operational, a comprehensive HR ecosystem. Okay, let's move on to the next, as I have probably a few minutes left. Emerging HR priorities. Different priorities for different organizations. For us, we'd like to create an organization, a workplace that will be considered as best place to work. We will focus on creating competencies, capabilities, and the desired culture for our organization. Relentless focus on people development, training for HR, learning and development as it is evolving into a more comprehensive look at people and capabilities. That is a major area of focus. Talk about learning management systems, talk about delivering our learning resources in video form, in interactive format, even in a gamified format. Because for us, I think it is important to understand the employee's life cycle. As we focus on our customer experience, we also want to focus on how to create a compelling career experience for our employees. And then, of course, and which is a topic of big and critical importance, it's about innovating our own HR systems to deliver that value and making sure that our organization is poised to really transform not just the HR organization, but the entire enterprise or the entire company. I'll move to the next slide to talk about what are some of the things that we're doing in terms of HR strategy. The pressure, as I said, is really to make HR relevant. You will earn your seat in the table. I'm sure HR actually earned its seat in the table when we experienced the pandemic, right? Nobody moves without HR allowing certain employees to come to work. Our engineering designs, our controls, our HR protocols, we have controlled that during pandemic, right? But beyond pandemic, it's still about HR creating a dent, in the way we do business. And for us to support that and focus on our own mission and vision as a company and how HR can deliver that. For me, I think we can be reliable partner of the business if we are able to deliver world-class and transformative HR systems and practices, policies to the organization. Part of our mission is really increasing job satisfaction, engagement, and enhancing the way we deliver HR services to our employees. In terms of strategy, some of the things we have are growing our employees, because ultimately growing our employees will result in a better organization and growing the business. Offering exceptional career, compelling career experience, integrating. When you talk of HR systems, it's about having a single source of truth. That single source of truth is really fueled by a working HR architecture that will deliver the services to our employees faster, better, more efficient. And of course, we'd like to create the best place to work environment. Some of the focus areas founded on our core values as an organization. I'll move to the next slide to talk about how we are transforming our own organization. For some companies that already embrace the concept of strategic business partnering, we're also introducing that into our own organization. But the focus is really on delivering the HR services to our employees right? And an enabler of that is an HR service delivery model focused on doing talent acquisition right, having a fully working candidate management talent acquisition tool, doing your payroll correctly. It is management will and our employees will not mind HR if they cannot deliver on this promise of paying our employees correctly on time, facilitating their benefits availment, using technology to access their information, delivering admin services, and of course, a major business case for making sure that we are compliant with BIR, with the statutory requirements of running the business. So much for that. This is the more exciting slide when I talk about the next one. Let me talk about how we're delivering value in terms of how we are creating what I call as the HR flywheel or the flywheel effect. For some HR in the 90s, we've been used to the term the HR wheel, right? Where you have recruitment, payroll, benefits, all those conventional HR functions. I borrowed this concept from a book written by Jim Collins, The Good to Great. Actually, he authored 3 major works: Built to Last, Good to Great, and recently Great by Choice. Now, what is the HR flywheel? The HR flywheel is practically a process upon which the flywheel effect will describe the kind of momentum that we are creating in terms of accumulating wins over time. Wins meaning if you're doing recruitment correctly, if you're doing payroll correctly, and you do that consistently over time, you get to be experts. You are able to deliver that service more efficiently. So imagine a turning wheel accumulating that momentum, and that momentum will build through time, through the process excellence that we will be building by doing things correctly. So the wheel is just growing as you add more elements to it, more drivers for its momentum. We want to do hiring right, we want to do payroll right, then we want to do employee engagement correctly, we want to develop leaders correctly. This HR deliverable, can I say, will continue to increase the momentum and deliver greater value to our organization. So this is the flywheel, something I invented yesterday. But really, I'd like to express how we as HR practitioners are able to turn our own HR wheel more efficiently to deliver the momentum and to support our business. Last slide for me, as I have consumed my 20 minutes, is about some quotes, from my favorite thinkers. First is from James Sinegal. Sinegal is co-founder and former CEO of Costco. Our business model is patterned after that business in the US. It's a membership shopping, and this quote really left a mark. It doesn't do much to have quality image. It doesn't. Advertising will only get you to a certain extent. Whether it's the facility, whether it's your products, your merchandise, if you don't have the quality of people to take care of your business, you cannot be successful in the marketplace. That's Jim Senegal. And then Richard Branson, the Virgin Group. We have always accepted the fact that customers are always right? Richard said, clients do not come first. A challenging idea. It's actually the employees that should come first, because if you take care of your employees, if you have the right systems, you have the right culture that will shape your organization, then your employees, your internal stakeholders will really take care of your business. So that's everything I have for today. Thank you for listening, and happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Eman, for a very insightful presentation. And I think you'll still have to stay later on today to join our other speakers for today for a fireside chat session. And we're also looking forward to have you on our future events, webinars, and hopefully some live events, okay? That note, I'd like to invite everyone to download our report for a comprehensive salary benchmarking guide by scanning the QR code on your screen. This insightful guide provides a comprehensive overview of salary benchmarking, offering valuable strategies and best practices to help organizations just like yours optimize its compensation practices, attract top talent, and enhance employee satisfaction. So again, please refer to the QR code so you can download that report. Okay, Sprout findings underscore the importance of adjusting compensation and benefits packages through salary benchmarking, and this strategic approach helps organizations ensure their pay remains competitive and aligned with industry standards. So I hope everyone was able to download that report. Now I've seen some, okay, you can also access the benchmark report on the webinar chat. So you can click that link if you prefer to download it directly on that site. Okay, now let's continue to our next speaker. With a 13-year background in the field, she experienced in handling all facets of HR life cycle locally and overseas. She is an ISO 27001 certified lead auditor, TÜV Rheinland certified data protection officer, and has earned her Green Belt Six Sigma certification. And as a lawyer, she specializes in labor, civil, and commercial law. Let's all welcome the Chief People and Customer Officer of Sprout Solutions, Attorney Arlene De Castro.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending this webinar. I actually learned a lot from Sir Eman earlier, and one of my biggest takeaways would really be the HR flywheel and how it accumulates small wins over time. And that's what we should do as HR professionals. And I'm really glad because it ties up to my current talk, which is understanding the current HR technology landscape here in the Philippines for 2023. So what better way to share with you the current HR technology landscape than by sharing with you our study in our State of HR in 2023. So actually, we conducted this State of HR from a period of March 2023 to May 2023. And during this time, we surveyed over 400 professionals, and we found out that in this specific period of time, the top 3 major pain points have varied from 2022 to 2023. Next slide, please. And so, next slide. the changes to that would be in 2022, the top pain points would be recruitment, handling complaints and lawsuits, and compensation and benefits. But in 2023, the shift has now become employee retention. It's tied up with employee engagement as well. But let's dig deeper first what employee engagement is, so we're all aligned as to what that means. So employee satisfaction is different from employee engagement. So you can have an extremely satisfied workforce, and you can have an ESAT, a fairly satisfactory rating on your ESAT, but you don't have employees who are engaged. Why? Because employee engagement is tied up to that emotional connection that an employee feels to an organization. So it's no longer just like an 8 to 5 job. Like an employee can be satisfied by clocking in and out daily, doing their tasks without complaint, but they're not emotionally connected to their organization. So simply put, it's not only the organization or HR who has the job in taking care of its employees. It's also the employees who should have an emotional connection or that care on the part of the organization. So if you feel that your employees have a care in your organization towards your organizational goals, to your vision, to your mission, then you know that you have a good employee engagement in your company. So what are the trends? What are the trends that we saw in 2023? One slide back, please. So the trends that we saw are, number 1, technology integration, 2, employee well-being, 3, continuous learning, 4, data-driven decision-making, and 5, employee experience. So technology integration. In our study, we found out that at least 53% has had the basic automation for their HR processes already. So what does this mean? It means that basic timekeeping, so payroll, attendance, they've already had it automated. And so 43, so the difference from the 53%, those are the only companies who aren't automated yet. So if you haven't yet, then you're lagging behind. But with this shift in technology integration, there are other facets in the HR wheel that has not been taken care of. And in our study, we found out that recruitment, performance management, employee well-being hasn't been in the automation spectrum yet. And this is where the Philippines is lagging behind with the other countries in the world. And so continuous integration of technology, including AI, machine learning, data analytics, is expected to enhance HR processes in the future. And so now you hear the words AI, you hear the words machine learning, you hear the words data analytics, and that would be continuing for the next generations. As a matter of fact, it has started already. With one of our modules in recruitment, we've already incorporated AI in the system. And so now it becomes more efficient to have recruitment systems in place, because let's say you have a requisition, and that requisition would require you to browse through thousands of resumes in your pipeline. Now with just a simple click, what the system can do for you is to screen those for you and actually match candidate profile with the job description, thus making the hiring manager's life easier. And that's what technology integration can do in the business. So second would really be employee well-being. So in the State of HR 2023, ang sabi doon, employee well-being is now the priority. Mental health, positive workplace, culture. So those 3 becomes priority now. It's no longer an employer-centric world, but an employee-centric world, because employees are now becoming more demanding. And this is in line with what Eman is saying earlier, that it's increasingly becoming more difficult for HR, more demanding for HR, because it's now an employee-centric world. And what strategies can you do as HR professionals? Strategies may include wellness programs, flexible schedules, initiatives to address burnout, because now it's open season eh. Like while there's the advent of the Great Return, dahil tapos na yung Great Resignation, still output becomes king. And as such, employee well-being becomes first and foremost in maintaining retention in your company. So the third is continuous learning. So, ang dami nang nangyayari, ang dami ng advancements na nangyayari in terms of technology. But what this can do for you is that continuous learning and development programs to upskill and reskill employees will ensure that your people stay relevant in the market. With machine learning kasi, so the menial task becomes automated, but what happens to the non-menial tasks? So this is where continuous learning and development still plays a picture in the state of HR 2023. And another good thing here is data-driven decision making. So in data-driven decision making, it's no longer nanghuhula yung mga HR natin as to what strategies to do or not to do. Now we have the tools, or HR has the capability to have the tools in order to drive decision making. So you can do it through surveys. In our case, we have Sprout Pulse, and this is our employee engagement tool where you can actually get the pulse of the organization. Like, what does the employees really think about your management? Or what does the employee, or how does individual employee feel about the overall organizational goals? So with this, you can formulate data-driven decision-making strategies in order to improve the organization. And lastly, of course, is employee experience. So naturally, employee experience is tied up with the human-centric approach. So HR is more likely to shift towards a more human-centric approach still, even despite the advent of AI. Sabi nga sa HR, State of HR 2023, while technology plays a crucial role, it's still heavily dependent on emphasis on empathy, employee experience, and understanding individual needs. And this is because in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, diba, there are different phases in the pyramid. And at the bottom of the pyramid is the physiological needs of man. And these are the basic needs of man, like food, shelter, clothing. But as you progress through the pyramid, like, you know, like in a game, as you progress through the game, ang end goal niyan is self-actualization. And so this would now no longer include the basic needs of man, but, you know, the need for self or for belongingness or love or pride. And translated it to HR, they also need it in the workplace. And as such, employee experience becomes first and foremost in the organization. Next slide, please. And because of this, next slide, these are some of the products that can help you solve your problem. Of course, HR and payroll is the most basic one. You need to automate it. What's good about this module is that there's already a self-onboarding module where employees can now put in their details themselves. And of course, payroll, if you do not have an automated system, chances are every time there are updates in the system, let's say in SSS, BIR, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, chances are you're no longer compliant. Here, you no longer have to compute the 32 different pay rates. It's a system doing it for you. And with mobile, this is very effective, especially in the retail industry, because it has geotagging and geofencing features. And so you'd know where the employees are at any given time, especially the field workers. With Insight, this is really our data-driven analytics module that would enhance your decision-making skills as HR professionals. And as what Sir Eman said earlier, this is your tool when you have a seat in the table already. And that's good because HR is now recognized to have a seat in the table. Next is Performance Plus, and Performance Plus is the performance module of Sprout. What's good here is that there's also an embedded learning and development module. And what happens here is that tied up na yung employee relations. This is where you can give your PIPs, your show cause memorandums. And ang maganda dito, since it's automated, you no longer have to track, or HR no longer has to consistently bug employees to fill up their performance evaluation. The system will do that automatically for you. And there's an embedded analytics module in the system as well. Of course, recruitment, I mentioned earlier, it's AI driven already. There's candidate matching, but other than that, there's also creating candidates in one click using, let's say, LinkedIn or their social media profiles. So, napakaganda niyang module na yan. And it's also from the offer stage up to onboarding. So that's recruitment for you. And I've mentioned Pulse earlier. This is the engagement platform of Sprout, where we do random surveys to different employees, usually done on a quarterly basis, to assess how we can still help the organization. And Benchmark, this is what Romel is trying to have you download earlier, because this is a very important tool for HR professionals. So you know where you stand in the greater scheme of things. And this is how you can actually produce salary standardization measures for your organization to be defended to top management. Of course, we have health and wellness. So wellness, this is really the response of HR or Sprout in the Mental Health Act. So there's an act that states that each company should have a mental health policy for their employees, and this is our response. So it includes yoga sessions, meditation sessions, and also one-on-one consultation with psychologists and psychiatrists. And there's Instacash, which is the financial wellness of Sprout. So with Instacash, what it does is in just 2 seconds, the money's there in the bank account of your employees. And there's no obligation on the part of the HR or on the employer. So it really becomes, the interaction becomes between the third party and your employee. And as such, it's hassle-free and it helps your employees in times of financial need. As a matter of fact, we've had testimonials where their lives have been saved or their family members have been saved because of this feature. And lastly is the professional services, which is the HR and legal consultancy arm of Sprout. And here you can very well ask anything and can help you in any of your HR and legal needs. There's also a new feature, but I'm sure Gian will discuss that later. It's called HR Link. It's the AI-driven tool that you can use as HR professionals when asking things related to the Department of Labor. But that's how Sprout can help you, and this is really the current landscape of HR tech. And I hope that this helps you in determining which ones you need in your organization and how else you can improve as an organization so that you can be HR digitally mature. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Attorney Arlene. A very insightful presentation as always. And we'll see you later today for our session with other speakers. And now we are thrilled to welcome our final speaker. He is the head of Sprout AI Labs and leads AI efforts, enhancing products and creating new AI solutions and promoting AI adoption across Sprout solutions. Now, before joining Sprout, he co-founded and led Aya, the fastest growing AI startup, ranking 4th in the Philippines Growth Champions 2023. He is also the faculty member of Ateneo John Gokongwei School of Management and actively supports the Philippine startup community. Please join me welcoming a true champion of AI and driving force behind the Philippines' burgeoning tech scene, Gian De La Rama.
Thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for the very warm welcome. I hope you guys have learned a lot during these past 2 speakers. I've learned a lot as well, given my background as, a teacher, and I've been teaching actually for the past, I think, 20 years at this point. It's always a delight and surprise to find out that, there's always knowledge to be learned, from all aspects of life and work. So for my short presentation, my goal isn't to inundate everyone with jargon, with technology, but I want to spark the fire of conversation. So later during the Q&A, I hope that my presentation will elicit questions regarding AI AI's application in HR, AI's applications in HR in retail in particular, no? Because as Attorney Arlene mentioned, AI is becoming a key component, no, in Sir Eman's in Sir Eman's presentation earlier, wherein he was talking about technology as the driver of efficiencies in the HR practice. So AI is becoming a very, very big part of that technology strategy. So for my presentation, I've entitled it, enhancing frontline operations with AI, augmenting, not replacing human talent. So I want to focus my talk on frontliners, the salespeople, the people who talk to the customers, the people who support customers. While AI and HR applies to the entire organization, I only have 10 minutes, so I just want to focus on this specific aspect of retail operations. So next slide, please. So, the nice thing about this image, it depicts an individual shopping for clothes while holding a mobile phone. Now, this individual is actually the, funny to see here, but this individual is actually the salesperson speaking with another customer, talking about products. And, she learns about these products through applications on her phone that augment how she sells products to their customers. Now, another fun fact about this is that this image is not real. This was generated using an AI platform called Midjourney. So, yeah. So next slide, please. Now, this is to show you the power of, artificial intelligence today. So there's a concept called hybrid shopping, and this was touched briefly, by the two previous speakers. That, before the pandemic, we were very heavy with face-to-face retail. The Philippines is known for its malls, and we Filipinos love to go outside to the malls, to SNRs. I am shamefully admitting that I've been a member for the longest time and have gotten bigger simply because of the size of the chocolates in SNR. I'm saying sorry, but not sorry. So, but during the pandemic, things changed. There was this abrupt shift into online. Everything was online simply because there was no way to go out. When the pandemic, I would say, ended, though it's not really ended yet, but when the pandemic, I would say, ceased to become mainstream, as you call it, early last year, there was this shift back, to face-to-face shopping, almost like a rubber band snapping back, though this shift has been gradual. So that being said, the mode of shopping, the modality of shopping now is actually hybrid. There is, still heavy online and technological presence in shopping, but also there is still this now resurgence on face-to-face shopping, on better experiences while shopping. And this is driven by buyers getting younger, buyers become more tech savvy and more digitally native. And more importantly, simply because we were spoiled by online shopping during the pandemic, there is a segment of the buying population who already expect that brands, that retailers know their preferences already. Next slide, please. And because of this, not only thus do executives in HR or in retail technology have to catch up, they're really spending resources in order to augment their frontliners. In a Gartner study, they asked retail tech leaders on what technologies they'll be spending on and implementing by 2026, 2 years from now. They obviously mentioned two, out of the 5 trends here are actually AI. Obviously, artificial intelligence and machine learning having 91% of the survey, and of course, generative AI, which comprises 74% of the respondents. So there really is this shift towards using AI to transform, retail, not only, retail internally, the business of retail, but also the experience that retail gives to its customers. Next slide, please. So, just stepping back, I want to focus the next few slides on generative AI, because this is the hottest segment of AI. Though it is, still a small segment of AI, this is the hottest segment of AI right now. So as you remember from my slide earlier, I had a tool called Midjourney generate, an image to be used in this presentation. So generative AI, as the name implies, is a set of AI techniques that learn from content that is fed into it, whether it's text, image, numbers, and then uses its learning of those content to generate its own set of content based on what we call prompts. We tell the AI what you want, you describe to the AI what you want, and it will generate something based on what you mentioned. So whether or not it is completely original is not for us to decide. That's for our lawyers and policymakers to decide. But that is what generative AI is. And this technology is slowly but surely transforming industries, and in particular, retail. Next slide. So some use cases of Gen AI involve simplification, summarization as well. So taking big pieces of content and creating shorter versions, classifying. So for those in the retail space, for you guys in the retail space, understanding your customers by classifying them into buckets. Chatbots, as many of you are, I assume, are already familiar with. For the technology partners here, we can now use AI to help us code. We also now use AI for Q&A. And this is, I will talk more about this later. And of course, manipulating pieces of code. Next slide. So in the retail side of things, let me zero in on three aspects. So AI and generative AI within HR will be able to improve frontliner productivity and effectiveness in three areas. Now, I'd like to highlight just three areas for this particular presentation. So these areas are in hiring, training, and selling. So in hiring frontliners, as Sir Eman mentioned, there is this challenge of finding talent. Turnover, employee turnover or attrition is quite high. So you need to hire replacements and then train these replacements in such a way that it will not compromise, right, the service delivery or the delivery of services of the retail company, the selling part. And one application of generative AI right now, and this is something that we are experimenting within Sprout AI Labs, is to build AI that can screen candidates at scale automatically. And the questions being asked by that AI are not generic questions that our HR partners come up with. Of course, we use that as a basis, but it can generate new questions based on those set of questions that our partners give us, plus the profile of the employee itself, based on their resume, their biodata. So the AI can dynamically adjust its questions, based on what it can read from the employee's profile, and also based on the previous interactions that that employee has had with that AI within the conversation. So the AI is bobbing and weaving, and answering questions or asking questions based on that entire conversation with the customer. So we're still in early days here, but we see this as a game changer in hiring. Hiring and screening need not be a non-interactive static affair, right? It can be a fully interactive, fully content. And of course, the one who will eventually screen said person. The next application of generative AI is in training. So as an educator myself, this is something that I have a personal stake in, so to speak. So we are building automated, interactive, and personalized training chatbots. Again, we learn based on company information, maybe on product information, pricing. We can also learn about strategy or best practices. What's the best way to sell said product? How do you handle customer objections? And so on and so forth. So we load that into our Q&A AI, and we can deploy a chatbot that can live, within Sprout's mobile app, for example. So a retail frontliner who has access to the Sprout mobile app, now if he or she does not know the specifications of a particular product that they're selling, they can ask or they can chat with that bot, and the bot will be able to give them, the specifications and even recommend the best way for them to sell to a customer. So this is, for me, this is pretty cool, again, as a teacher. So I also actually referenced the selling part, no? So I amalgamated both training and selling. But in selling as well, right? Since we are living in a hybrid shopping environment today, we can have AI that can do product recommendation in an online transaction, but we can also use AI to determine the best merchandise mix, right? For a certain location of a store, which products should we stock given previous purchases, given the behavior of customers, right? And even, as I mentioned earlier, have a bot instruct salespeople, how to sell these products. So, basically we're using AI to lower, and I think Sir Eman will be happy with this, to lower the cost to deliver these types of services. You don't need to hire as many screeners, right? You don't need to hire as many trainers, right? And the resources can be used to hire or to improve existing screeners and trainers, right? So that they can actually do more impactful work. So we're not really, removing people, taking people out of work. We're actually giving them tools so that they can provide better service. Next slide. So an example of which, this is actually in the training category, if I may say so myself. We used our technology to build HR Link. HR Link is a free service that we've launched last week. It is in an experimental status. Now it will get, some answers incorrect. But the point of us releasing this early is that we can get feedback from you guys, the HR experts. So, I encourage you to go to this address, hrlink.ph, and ask questions, and so that you can, hopefully learn more. And at the same time, if you find it giving wrong answers, please click on the thumbs down and please let us know, or even give us the right answer, right? So that way the bot can. We can now take the technology that we built for HR Link, right? And give you, our Sprout customers and potential customers as well, access to build your own Q&A chatbots. So next slide, please. Right. And so that, this is just an example. This screen is just an example of an experiment that we're working on. But what you will get is something, I would say, similar, just the center portion to this, wherein, as I mentioned earlier, your HR practitioners within the company, your L&D, learning and development practitioners in the company, or even your policy experts in the company can use our technology, upload your documents in a secure manner, meaning whatever you upload will be kept secure and only accessible by employees within your organization. And then those documents will train an AI, the one in the middle over here, and anyone in the company can ask questions. So for our HR service delivery partners in the call, imagine not needing to answer repetitive questions anymore, or even having an HR assist you just in case you forgot what to answer if you're talking to, let's say, an employee with a pretty complex question. So this technology, the technology that powers HR Link will be made available and accessible to our customers by January next year. So if you're not a Sprout customer, you can now have another reason to subscribe or use Sprout as we add more AI capabilities into the platform. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, sorry. So maybe to answer, just to close this presentation, I want to answer this question, no? Will AI replace me? The answer is actually quite complex. As you can see here, this was a scene from the recently concluded Writers Guild of America strike in the US. Right, so the writers were alleging that studios are now using AI to write scripts for movies. Actors have the same set of concerns, so they actually protested, right? And this is a valid concern. No? Will AI replace certain work? And unfortunately, the answer is, I would say yes. It will replace certain repetitive work. However, I would posit that this repetitive work shouldn't even be done by us humans. No? We're actually designed to be more creative than transactional. So while there are segments of one's work that can be replaced by AI, the actual worker need not be replaced, right? It's the fusion of technology and human, in our case, bots and brains, right? That will power this next wave of augmentation, not replacement. No. But that being said, right? Technology and retail, or digital transformation in retail, next slide please, is no longer a requirement. It's actually a race. Sir Eman mentioned that they at SNR are investing heavily in technology to modernize and transform aspects of their business. These are just table stakes. No? This is the world that we live in. So it's no longer just investing in technology, but investing in technology that will actually drive the needle forward or drive the company forward. So, to close, will specific AI replace me? The answer, it will replace segments of your work. However, the clear and present danger here is that, and this is a nice quote from Richard Baldwin from the World Economic Forum just this year. Now, AI will not take your job. It's someone using AI that might or will take your job. Because people who know how to use technology, and this is the onus on us in HR. Now, we have to equip our employees to be able to use this type of technology effectively, so that they can use this tech to augment themselves, to be better employees, to be more engaged employees, right? And hopefully to be happy your employees in the process. So next slide, please. With that, thank you very much. If you want to learn more about how we can help you augment your frontliners or your employees using AI, please just go to our website, speak to your account manager or CSM, or speak to me as well. So I'll have the team share my contact details to the audience afterwards, so that we can have a conversation about AI, how AI can help. Right? Thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Gian. We'll still see you later today for the fireside chat session. And we're always looking for ways to improve our webinars. Your feedback is invaluable to us. So we invite everyone to kindly fill out the survey form that will appear on your screen. Okay. And it will only take 2 minutes to answer. I assure you that your form is short and easy to complete, and your feedback will help us to make our future webinars even better. So we will give you some time to answer. All right. Thank you to everyone who has completed the feedback form, and we really, really appreciate it. And we are now down to the fireside chat, where our speakers, where our speakers explore the relationship AI can have with our HR retail operations. Now, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our esteemed speakers. Please join me, Sir Eman, Sir Gian, and Attorney Arlene.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Ramel, for welcoming us back into this fireside chat. So guys, I want this fireside chat to be as interactive as possible. So if you have any questions, don't please drop your questions here at the webinar chat, or I know that there's a Q&A tab if you want to be anonymous. But like, I want to direct the first question to you guys. I mean, to the audience we have right here, because we have 93 participants, and I want to know, because Gian brought in a very controversial topic, and the topic is whether or not AI could replace us HR professionals. So I want to hear your thoughts. Do you guys feel that AI will replace us eventually? Do you agree with Gian that it will not, but it will merely assist us? Or will it really replace us in the future? So guys, please type in yes if you agree that HR will eventually replace HR professionals. No. Okay, sabi ni Jonalyn, Ryan, no. Okay, good. So it seems that there's a striking no, like a majority says that it's a no. Actually, no one has said yes to it. And as such, we believe in the value of AI being the assistant of HR and not really replacing us. That's good. That's good to hear. So my first question is related to that. And I'd like to direct this attention to, or this question to Sir Eman. So, because it really involves the impact on HR roles. So as AI takes over certain tasks, how do you see the HR role evolving, or HR roles evolving? What will be the new skills and competencies that will be essential for HR professionals in the age of generative AI? Sir Eman?
Right. Wonderful question, Attorney A. So I did a simple exercise with my own leadership team in HR. I asked them to pull up their Ask GPT and type away the question. It made me realize that when you lead your team in this trend, not really a trend, but this is really taking the world of work by storm. They begin to tap into that technology to do their jobs better. The next time I ask them to develop a framework on something, you can expect some of my team members, my training manager, my HR operations manager, actually found inspiration in using AI in delivering what is expected. This is an example of how we can be clever, sort of saying smarter in delivering the work that we do for our employees and our own teams in HR. But what is critical is for us to find the right tools that will make sense for us, because there's a lot. When this AI explosion happened, when Elon Musk created Neuralink, when there's, of course, robotics and machine learning, all this technological advances in human capability. This is still improving human capability. It is important for all HR practitioners to be ready for these transformations. You cannot be exempted, because whether you like it or not, we are part of this system now. We use Facebook, AI-generated, LinkedIn, the HR management systems available are adopting HR. Sprout is certainly committed to this generative HR applications in our HR management system. So we will not be exempted. So we have to learn as fast and as much and catch up, because our jobs, I wouldn't say threatened, but it will require a broader range of HR body of knowledge, so to speak, with artificial intelligence and HR technology at the help. That's how I'll respond to that, Attorney Arlene.
Okay, thank you, Sir Eman. What about you, Gian? Do you think there will be new roles that will be assigned to HR? Because previously, the advent of people experience, it's a new concept for us, and suddenly there are now people experience professionals. And so, do you think there will be HR technology or AI technology experts that will soon emerge as a new role in HR?
Definitely, no. What I'm seeing right now is that obviously we are in the early stages, of the generative AI boom. In fact, a lot of companies are figuring out the specific roles that they need to add in order to maximize the use of these AI tools. I guess yeah, yes, there will be new roles, but I'd like to focus on, what skills these roles should have. Because obviously we might not know yet what to call them, but what's important is, and this is something that I saw as a big positive, when all of ChatGPT, was released and everything. It forced people to articulate what they want, because you cannot tell an AI what to do if you don't know how to say, right? So it's forcing a lot of people to communicate, no? And I know a lot of friends who have social anxiety, who cannot speak to a fellow human that easily, who can speak or chat with ChatGPT for days on end. No? So and they're actually getting, they're training themselves, so to speak, no? But that skill of articulating what you want is a big skill, and at the same time, for AI, ChatGPT forces us or requires us to be more critical thinkers, right? Because not all answers that an AI can give, especially if you ask ChatGPT, will be true. It's prone to a term called hallucinations.
Right.
Nambobola sila. Magaling mambola si ChatGPT. Mali objectively yung sagot, pero they said it in such a way na mapapaniwala ka, right? So you should be able to discern and identify that. So that's critical thought, critical thinking, right? So these skills are important. And I guess at the same time, it's interacting with systems, interacting with technology, and the fact that we're chatting rather than clicking, right? Rather than, for the people well versed in SAP, no, in the call, if you memorize your transaction codes, no, for HR, you would know that by heart, no. But right now, we just have to ask for it, or it's possible for us to ask, just say, I want to do this. No? So these skills are the ones that are needed in, the next jobs that will be created within HR.
Thank you, Gino, and that's a very good answer. But there's a question here in our chat, and this is from Ryan Garciano, your former student, actually. So it says here that AI is changing how current employees work and it's increasing productivity levels, but at the same time, it makes them worried that they'll be replaced because of the resistance, and that's why there's resistance for digital transformation strategies. So medyo HR yung question, so maybe I'll direct this to Eman. How can we establish psychological safety for people who now feel worried about this digital transformation? Sige, Sir Eman.
Just like robotics, when the Asimov principle has been, established that no robot can harm a human. I think, when as I mentioned, Elon Musk, established a company for ethical practice of the technology. It's coming, I think the world is conscious about the effects of AI to societies, and even to us in HR. We have to think through how we can adapt and use technology to enable us and not to take over our lives. That has always been the threat for HR. When outsourcing is a thing of a lot of companies in the US, where we've been threatened that Indians will take over our jobs, the Philippines will take over the BPO, the KPO industry. It's a reality that without really navigating through the intent, the purpose, and the direction of these technologies, we will not be able to adapt and embrace this shift, from manual to automated to now AI driven. So for HR, don't worry, because the human factor in delivering service to human beings, and then let me emphasize that it is humans helping humans, not machines taking over the lives of human beings. So the HR value proposition is still, the more human-centric our technologies and our processes and our HR systems are, then we will still be of value to organizations and to societies and even to ourselves as human beings for them.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Eman.
Philosophical, but to put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. When speaking of resistance, Gian, as our CTO, what strategies can you recommend to our audience here? Or because it's easy to sell AI to a millennial, or let's say to a 5-year-old, because they're already there, it's their generation. But what about to the people who are, let's say, the baby boomers, or those in the older generation who might not be very familiar or might not want the change that AI, or at least automation, is giving them?
Yeah, so first of all, I feel old, no. I'm a student, no, attended. He's now in a, he's now in a professional capacity, no. So yung question niya is less academic, more professional. So I feel old. But yeah, so the funny thing, I want to share a funny story, no. You're talking about how do we get the older generation to adopt AI. If you ask my mom, I had zero influence. She basically says to me sometimes, ChatGPT told me. So she knows how to use ChatGPT, right? And that's actually what I like about this entire generative ChatGPT in particular. It made AI mainstream. So ChatGPT is as mainstream as K-drama at this, di ba? So, di ba, ChatGPT is more, was faster growing than TikTok itself, no? So everybody knows TikTok. Everybody knows ChatGPT. So it's now easier in some ways to introduce AI to, I would say, more senior folks. But at the same time, if you're looking for strategies, my number one strategy is, try it out. Gen AI now is democratized. Anyone can just go online, chat.openai.com, or even hrlink.ph and ask a question. Right? That's it. No instructions required. And then that's the beauty. Again, I will wax psychological here. No, the human mind is very good in filling the blanks. You don't actually have to give the entire instruction. Just put some signposts, guideposts, and the mind will fill in the blanks. That's the same thing. So if it's okay, mind you, it's going to be still difficult, no, for change management for any technology, no. It's easier, but it's still challenging. So again, it's about letting them try, letting them experience firsthand, showing quick wins. No, kasi once the honeymoon period of its school and the UNA is done, diba, the bosses will find, will look for ROI. We look for returns, diba? We look for something else. No, you have to already begin establishing that, quick wins, and of course, just overly communicate with management that this is happening, or people that you want to change, that this is happening. Always be there, handhold them if you have to. And
That's good. Okay, thank you, Gian. Okay, so I want to hear from the audience. Like, are you using AI, or are you promoting AI in your organization? Type yes if you are, type no if you aren't. So, para alam namin where you guys are. Kasi that question is actually related to my question to Sir Eman. Yan, no. So may mga no pa. And kanina may mga nababasa ko. The reason why they aren't using it is because they don't know how. So ang alam lang nila is ChatGPT. So like tinatanong nila like how can HR, or how can you use HR or AI in HR? So yun yung mga common questions that they have. But in relation to that, how can you use AI in HR? I guess my next question for Eman is, in what ways can generative AI enhance the overall employee experience? Kasi kanina, di ba, we're talking about employee experience as the new thing na. Hindi na yung mga basics. Kasi it's now an employee-centric world. So how can you ensure a human-centric approach still, kahit na may technological shift na to HR? Eman?
All right. Let me give an honest to goodness view of the current workplace, in a lot of retail companies in the Philippines. Let's zero in on the Philippine experience. And you have probably been to, and I'm sure you've been to, a retail store, whether it's our competition, whether it's the department store, the other retail establishments out there. And also, and coming from my experience in my current organization, there seems to still be a digital divide, no? Those who are adapters and those who are behind. It's probably not a shocker to realize that why will you talk about technology when in the first place some of our company policies are prohibitive of our employees adopting the technology? What am I talking about? When our employees come into our store to work for the day, we confiscate their phones. And this is not an odd practice. This is something that other retailers are also doing because they think that it will distract our employees. It will be a waste of their time. It's unfair for employees to do personal stuff during work hours. I'm sure some of those participants who belong to the retail space know that this is still a company policy. We take our employees' phones away from them at time of work. So how can this be? How can you bridge that technology adoption and what is happening outside when you cannot even change a basic company policy on allowing our employees to use technology? But the good news is the world is changing. As we migrate to a more advanced HR platform, when we democratize technology, so to speak, as we allow them to gain access to employee self-service, to when we use Sprout, there's an employee interaction, by allowing them to have access to their own information, download their own payslips, have an access to their online transactions, time attendance, all these things. It's happening. It's happening. But it's catching up fast, right? Right now, we live in a world of I'll speak for myself. The organizational maturity will be accelerated by technology. If I'm saying, how can you adopt technology? You cannot use your phone while working. That will change a lot when we will actually require employees to use their mobile phones to correct their time attendance records. And so I can see the answers of the participants here. Some of them are not yet adopting AI, but soon enough, we all will. And that's the reality of this emerging technology. For HR, that means you have to learn faster and get ahead of your employees in terms of technology adoption. For those learning development people, for recruitment people, for those who are involved in the delivery of services, catch up because our employees, you will be amazed, will easily adapt to this transition.
I agree. No, I agree with that statement. And those who do not adapt will be left behind. So if you'll be left behind, then baka kayo na yung mare-replace ng AI. Sabi nga ni Gian kanina, no, na those hindi siya mag-replace, but people who use AI will eventually replace your job. Okay, so in line with this, Gian, what naman are the ethical considerations given you are our CTO, no? So what are the ethical considerations that HR professionals must keep in mind in implementing AI HR in their organization? May it be in recruitment, onboarding, any module, what ethical considerations should they keep in mind? I think you're in mute, Gian.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's a very good question, no? And it's a very hot topic in the AI space right now, no, ethics. So we've touched on a few of those considerations already, no, psychological safety, giving enough leeway, for people to learn, because as with any new technology, you shouldn't force feed it to people. Let them try, let them be excited, let them think of the possibilities. For me, that's a very important ethical consideration, not forcing. A second is, I mentioned it earlier, hallucination. The state of the art now, right, is still, regurgitating, for lack of a better term, information that it's trained on. And sometimes, or actually, I would say many times, this information being regurgitated is incorrect, right? It's delivered in a confident manner, but it's still incorrect. So the onus is actually on the builders of the models, the AI models, to ensure that these hallucinations are reduced, no? I think hallucinations right now kasi it's a price that you have to pay for generative AI. No? It's in the word generative, no? So it is based on probability, not on, true or false, giving black and white answers, no? So that's one. The next is, I guess, in training. So for us making AI, no, and especially in the HR field, no, we have to be careful with the data that we use to train AI. Because what if you use AI to screen candidates, right? Make sure that the data that you use for candidate screening is free from bias, is free from prejudice, di ba? You still have to be what you call this, accepting of individuals from different creeds, orientations, religious beliefs, etc. No, and as makers of AI, you have to make sure that those biases are not included in the training data that you use to train. No, and also as builders, we have to force ourselves to stop our own biases because we'll have our own biases. No, we cannot tao tayo eh. No, we cannot avoid that. And I guess lastly, no, from the user side naman, again, they also have a responsibility. As users of AI, we also have a responsibility to be critical, right? To ask questions, no, to ask whether or not this is true. Ask a fellow human. No, don't ask another bot. No, ask a fellow human. Form consensus, diba? And then work together to figure out what the problem is and resolve it. So yeah, those are the ethical considerations that I have on top of mind.
All right, thank you, Gian. And those are really good ethical considerations. If I may add, because I'm a data protection officer, maybe privacy and security should also be part of the ethical considerations that when dealing with HR AI. So just ensure that you've read the privacy policy, the terms and conditions before you jump into getting a product that would be for your HR. Okay, given that in the interest of time, I mean, I have so many questions, but in the interest of time, I just would like to ask one last question for the two of you. And that is, what does the future look like? Maybe in one word or one sentence, what does the future of HR look like to you in the advent of AI? Let's start with Eman.
Yeah, for me, one word is creative.
Okay.
Creative. No? As an AI network is built on the ability to put those assets together, those materials together to respond to automated syntax or questions. The human creativity will still play a part in the future of work, in the future of AI as it affects our organization. So be creative.
All right. Thank you, Eman. And what about you, Gian?
In one word, I'd say empowering.
Nice. That's
So
good.
AI can give us superpowers. Now, whether we like it or not, no, it will give us superpowers.
That's good. For me, it's still employee experience, as the main, even though we're in the advent of AI, because the future of HR for me will be very dynamic and it will involve an interplay of technological advancements. And as such, there will be a heightened focus on well-being. We can now be proactive rather than reactive in our approach. And there will be a lot of adaptability for HR professionals in navigating the changing fortunes of time. And as finale, I just would like to say that change is the only constant thing in this world. And as such, we must adapt to the change so that we don't get left behind. And we must still have the primary focus of employee well-being, employee engagement, because if you take care of your employees, they will eventually take care of your business. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Eman, and thank you, Gian, for that wonderful insights. And I turn it over back to you, Romel.
Thank you, Attorney Arlene, Gian, and Eman. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We hope you guys gained valuable insight in today's episode of HR Masterclass. And we also wanted to invite everyone on our future webinars that will be flashed on your screen. Navigating Success for a Family-Owned Business, happening on December 5 from 10 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. You may scan the QR code or you may visit our website as well at www.eman.ph, or you can actually check the one that's been chatting on our web chat. But thank you again, everyone. Hope to see you on our future webinars, and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.